Once again in the NBA, we have another close MVP race. Today, I have 5 NBA players that I believe could win the MVP trophy this season, but before we get into this video talking about all of that, let's hear that intro. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another What's Next on Basketball YouTube video. I am your host, as always, Jeremy, and as I already said in the intro of this video, I will be talking about 5 NBA players that I think could win the MVP trophy this season. And when it comes to these 5 players, all have very good points and very good reasons to win it. So again, that's why I chose these 5. So when it comes to the order, there's no particular order like for my list when it comes to like, oh, I think he deserves it more than this guy. It's just that's where I place them. So let's say someone like Kevin Durant. I say, oh, Kevin Durant is first and LeBron James is second. That doesn't mean I think Kevin Durant deserves it more than LeBron James. That's just how the list order goes. So again, this list will be in no particular order because of that. It's not ranked, so again, none of that. And if there are any guys that you think should win the MVP trophy that I didn't mention in this video, you're more than welcome to leave it down in the comments. You know, you can give me a paragraph or whatever you want to do, just explaining why you think this guy should win it. I try to read every comment I can, and I really like, reading your guys' comments, so it's really nice, something for me to do. And also, again, you're going to be hearing me a lot with all the 5 guys saying, oh, this is why I think he should win it. This is why I think he should win it. And that's because, again, I think any of these 5 guys should win it. I'm not just going to say, oh, let's go with the Kevin Durant example again. I think Kevin Durant should win. This is why I think he should win the MVP trophy. And then I don't say it for anyone else. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. If I think they all should win it, I should be saying that's why he should win it. So if you're confused by that, that's just to clarify it. But I've already talked long enough, and I'm sure you all know how the MVP race works and how someone can win it. So we're just going to get on with the list now with our first selection. Out of all the players in this list, Giannis has definitely had the weirdest season. From getting Dame in the summer, to having a bad start to the season, to firing their head coach, and then hiring a overrated coach, in my opinion, it's safe to say that the Bucks are very questionable when it comes to being NBA champs this year. But what isn't questionable is Giannis's performance so far this season. He's averaging 31 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, which is a career high for him, 1 block, and 1 steal. And when it comes to his shooting percentages, his free throw percentage is a 67%, his 3-point percentage is a 29%, and his field goal percentage is a 62%, which is also a career high. This makes sense because his true shooting is also at a career high with a 66%. Even though Dame, who is a guy that needs the ball just as much as Giannis, this has not stopped Giannis from scoring, with him actually doing better on shooting alongside Dame and getting good shots up now that he has a good playmaker alongside him. And of course, this is nothing new when it comes to Giannis being in MVP talks, because he's basically been in the MVP race for the past, I want to say 4 to 5 years. The Bucks are currently second in the East, so if the voters want to put standings into the conversations like they do for most MVP races, Giannis checks off with being on a contending team. And he's also the reason why they're winning so much games, which is what an MVP should look like. He's great on offense, great on defense, so I'm not really sure what else Giannis would need to do to prove himself to the voters and him winning the MVP trophy. But of course, he's not the only one that's going for the MVP trophy this year, so let's move on to the next guy on this list. LUKA, without a doubt, has been one of the best players this entire season so far. With stats that almost have him averaging a triple-double, LUKA has gone night in and night out, proving why he is the franchise player for the Dallas Mavericks and why he should be considered for this year's MVP trophy. And of course, he's also my pick to win the MVP trophy this year, and I know you guys are all probably tired of me hyping him up all the time and saying it in every single video that I post, but it's not just me hyping him up. One of the things I said about Giannis's case for winning the chip was because he helps the team win, and this goes for LUKA too. If we look at the stats for his team, the Mavericks are 3-6 without LUKA on the court, and when LUKA is on the court, the record is 37-23. Not only does this show that LUKA is very important on the court for the Mavs and has been the only reason why this team is doing so well, this also shows his great availability for the team. Something I've learned throughout basketball these past couple years of watching it all the time now consistently is that availability matters, and that is something that LUKA has, a good skill that he has. I would consider availability a skill, and LUKA's very good at that, with him this season only missing 9 games. That is also why I like the new 65 game rule, because we can now give awards to people who actually deserve it. But, back on LUKA, if we look at what he's averaging in stats this season, his stats as a recording are 34 points, 9 rebounds, 10 assists, 1 block, and 1 steal, with his percentages being a 49% in field goals, a 38% in three-pointers, which is a career high for him, and a 79% in free throws, which is also a career high. And if you're not a stat nerd like some people are, then the eye test also proves why he should win. He's done amazing performance after amazing performance, with one example being on January 26th of this year against the Atlanta Hawks, where he scored 73 points. That puts him alongside Wilt Chamberlain and David Thompson for fourth on highest scoring single game by a player in the regular season. And I know LUKA is not on a top 3 seeded team like the rest of these nominees on here, but he still deserves the trophy nonetheless. He has done amazing this season, and I feel like them not voting for him just because his team, I think they're like 6th or 7th right now, the Mavericks, I feel like that's kind of silly. There's plenty of other examples of someone winning the chip with their team not being the top 3 seed. And he deserves the trophy just as much as any of these other nominees, because without him, the Mavericks would honestly not be doing as great as they are doing now. And that's also how some people feel about this next player on a certain team. Tatum has been a tough one to talk about for this award. Some people believe he should win it because he is the best player this season and leading the best team in the league. Others say he shouldn't win it and is only being looked at as the best because he's on such a stacked team. And they even say how this team can easily, still be good without Tatum. So how important is he really to this team? With others even saying that I've seen online, comparing this to the KD Warriors, which I wouldn't agree with a single reason being Tatum has literally been on this team his entire career. Meanwhile, KD joined a new team to win a chip, and it was the team that beat him and the Thunder the previous playoffs. But I'm not getting into all of that nonsense. Back on Tatum. It's also his stats as to why people say he shouldn't win the MVP, with him not even averaging 30 points like LUKA and Giannis. Again, this is another silly argument because Tatum doesn't need to average 30 points like Luka or Giannis every night. When it comes to winning the MVP, it's not just points that matters. It's also things like assist, rebounding, and etc. And that's things that Tatum is doing as well. If we look at his stats, he's averaging 27 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block, and 1 steal, with a field goal percentage of 47%, a 3-point percentage of 38%, and a free throw percentage of 83%. These are still great numbers even if he's not averaging 30 points like Luka or Giannis. It just shows how stacked the Celtics are that Tatum doesn't need to go 100% every single night and end up gassing himself out come playoff time. Not only that, but with how great Tatum has been with this team throughout all the years, I feel like he does deserve to win an MVP, at least one in his career. And with the highest odds of winning the NBA championship this year, a MVP would be great to add on for this incredible season Jason Tatum and the Celtics are having. And now that we're on the subject of incredible seasons, let's move on to this next player on the list. Most NBA fans knew that the Oklahoma City Thunder were going to be a future super team, but that's just it, a future super team. But instead, the Thunder are now a super team, and at the front row of all of this is their superstar point guard, SGA. For the past 3 to 4 years now, SGA has become a rising star in the league, and I believe last season was the first time that people were actually considering SGA to be in MVP talks. And with how great he has been doing this season, those opinions have become very loud amongst the community, with a lot more people going on with this, opinion. As of recording, SGA is second in the MVP race with good reason for it. SGA this season is averaging 31 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, which is a career high for him, 1 block, and 2 steals, which is also a career high, with another career high in field goal percentage of a 54%, a 3-point percentage of 38%, and a free throw percentage of 88%. If there is any guy on here that checks everything off for being MVP, it is Shai. He's the main guy in his team. His team has a great record this season. He's second in scoring and first in steals, with also his other stats proving he helps more than just scoring for his team. And as I already mentioned before, he's proven to be a rising superstar for this league, and because of that, one day he could even be the face of the league with how well he's doing if people don't already consider him one now. Also, while I was doing my research on him for this video, I found a very cool fact about him that adds to his MVP case for this season. Shai is the 5th player in the last 35 seasons to have 50 or more 30-point games in a season. You heard me right. So far this season, Shai has had 50 games where he scored at least 30 points. The other 4 players to accomplish this are Michael Jordan, who did it twice in the 1989-90 season and the 1990-91 season, Tracy McGrady in the 2002-2003 season, Kobe Bryant in the 2005-2006 season, and James Harden in the 2018-2019 season. As you can see, it's been a few years since this was last done, so this is a great record for Shai to be in, especially with who he's accompanied with. Also, LeBron isn't on here, so is he really the GOAT, guys? Jordan did it twice and LeBron didn't. I don't know, guys. This doesn't look good for Mr. Taco Tuesday. But as for Shea, this just shows how great of a player he has been for this team all season. And it's also scary to know that he's only 25 years old, so we still have a lot of years where we're going to see him be the best player, one of the best players in the league. Also, if none of my points that I already mentioned convinced you that Shea deserves the trophy, then here's one more reason. Shea has taken a team that was known for a couple years to be a lottery team, that was made fun of for always trading players away for picks and stacking up picks to, well, they're still being known to have a lot of picks, but has now made this team a playoff contending team and has a very good chance to win a chip with a very young squad that nobody expected to happen so soon. And for me personally, that gives the go-ahead for Shea to win the MVP trophy this season. That is if he can overthrow this next guy. Nikola Jokic. The horse racing lover is once again in MVP talks and has a chance to win his third MVP in the last 4 years, even though he should have been going for his fourth trophy in a row, but someone decided to make the MVP race last year all about people's races, which made the voters feel uncomfortable in voting for Jokic and chose someone that didn't deserve the trophy and proved that during the playoffs because he sorry guys about that. I don't know what happened there. Looks like we lost connection or something. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Jokic is arguably the best player in the league right now. Jokic and the Denver Nuggets won the NBA championship last season and look like they can repeat that again. Jokic this season is averaging 26 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 block, and 1 steal, with a field goal percentage of 58%, a 3-point percentage of 35%, and a free throw percentage of 83%. I don't really know what else to tell you guys that hasn't already been said about Nikola Jokic. He's the best player, again, as I mentioned before, he's the best player in the league right now, and both the stats and the eye test prove that. And as of me recording, Jokic is ranked first in the MVP race. Jokic, once again, is just really a good player. He is very good at passing, he's very good at shooting, he's very good at defense and offense. There's not that many flaws in his game that I can really talk about. And I know it might be me, just praising him at this high level, it might make me sound like one of the biggest Nikola Jokic, fans, but it's just the truth. There's not that many things that you can do to even stop Nikola Jokic. When a player is facing Nikola Jokic, their goal is not to stop him, it is to slow him down. And I know I told you guys in many videos that I think LUKA should win the MVP. But if I'm talking realistically, and again, every player that I mentioned on this list has a very good chance at winning the MVP. But if I have to be realistic and give a realistic answer as to who I think will win the MVP trophy, it's Nikola Jokic. And I know I can go on and on, or at least you guys were expecting me to go on and on explaining why I think Nikola Jokic should win it, but he's proved it the last 3 to 4 years. There's a reason why he won 2 trophies and should have won the previous year instead of somebody, but we're not going to get into that. All you guys need to know is Nikola Jokic is the best player in the league, and he just proves it night in and night out, and I think he's definitely one of the 5 that could win the trophy. And with that, that is the end of this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you like the 5 NBA players that I chose to win the MVP race. Make sure to leave a comment down below of how you felt about the video, and of course, let me know any players that you think should win the MVP race that I didn't already mention, or let me know how you feel about the 5 that I chose. And also, of course, make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe, and as always, I am your host Jeremy. This is the What's Next on Basketball podcast, and I'm signing off for the day. Have a great day, everybody.